Cue the theme tune music. Oh, hang on, let's have a look. Now, hopefully that'll fade out. Hey, there we go. It did. Hey up, folks. It is Wednesday, the 4th of June, 2025. June. It's here. So, Eyup FretHeads, if it's your first time here, let me know in the chat. We'll give you a shout out. I'm Ricky. I've been teaching guitar for a long time. Cut me open and there's rings. It tells you how many years I've been teaching guitar. I'm only joking. Don't want that to happen. Thank you very much. So you've got to be careful what you say sometimes, don't you? So welcome to Wednesday's lesson from the book. We've been having the old carpets cleaned today at home, and so I've had to disassemble the studio. I call it. This is the studio, and then I've had to lift everything up, move all my guitars and everything else like that. So hopefully everything's in place for today. For today's lesson from the book. But the thing that I want to show you today, that what we're gonna do is, this is one of those things, and I kind of, do you know what? I came up with this a long time ago, and I realised this at music college, that today's lesson, this is when I came up with this. And how long ago was that? Crikey, that'll have been 1990. A long time ago, 1990s. Yeah, sometime in the 90s. It wouldn't have been the late 90s. No, it was like 94 or 93 or something like that. Anyhow, so, and I've never ever struggled to write a riff. Never. And this is the beautiful thing about today's lesson, guys, because that's what this is about. It's a system, it's an idea, and it's like, instead of just hunting around randomly for chords and trying to find chords that go with something, the thing is, if you know what the scale sounds like and you can tap into that, yes, you can tap into it, then what will happen is you can write riffs, you can jam with your mates, and this is the thing. And so it's like, whenever I've been in original bands and stuff like that, I've never struggled, because I've always had this formula, this kind of like what I call, that's what I called it. Well, this is what this one is here. This is the thing. But blues scale infinite riff system, and this is what I called it. But the thing is, it's not just the blues scale. It's not just this. It's not just that. It's like it translates in so many different ways. So what we're going to do is we're going to do this lesson from the book. Yes. This connects to what we did last week. So all you people who are here today, yes, who were here last week when we did power chords, or you've watched the video on the catch up last week on how to do power chords and all the ways that that you can hold power chords, and the theory of the power chords using the cage power chords and the fretted power chords, that business, then what happens is you can add this idea to it. So this is the whole purpose, like I say, of these Wednesday guitar classes, is to take a lesson from the book. I can't remember what lesson we did last week. It's up there anyhow. It's in last week's thing. And what we did is we did the power chords, and then it's like, that was one lesson, and we're going to connect it to this one. And that's the whole point of these Wednesday guitar classes, guys. Because we take the lessons from the book, and we just make them bigger and better, and you end up with like a good body of knowledge. So that's the book. I'm showing you the book. Now the thing is, if you don't have the book, then you might struggle to follow along a bit, yeah. But here's the book. It's got 80 lessons in it. If you're in the chat and you've bought the book, just say something in the chat there about how much you've learned from the book. Have you learned a lot from the book? Because if you couple the book, the lessons that are there with in video form with this, and then you do the Wednesday guitar classes and expand upon them and connect them, I personally, I think it's amazing value for money. I'm going to say that I'm biased, but I'm proud of this thing. So because I know, because all the emails and all the messages I get about the book, I know that it's had a massive effect on a lot of people's guitar playing, and it might affect your guitar playing too. So there is the thing there for the book. So if you're lurking and you've thought to yourself, should I get the book? then that's where to get it. You can get it in spiral bound, which I think is probably the best one because it's music stand friendly. You fold it over, and I just seen a comment that says Dem's on his second book as his first filled with notes. Exactly. I fill mine. Mine's full of notes of like what to join it onto and what it relates to, and then finding these different things and like other lessons I can pull out of the book and like join up. And my regular uploads that I do, I kind of try and connect them to the stuff that's in the book as well. So this is the whole point about the content, guys. It's like Wednesday is the meeting point for us to get together and me to share these ideas and these concepts with you. So that's the one. Mrs. Ricky's gone off to get Miss Ricky because she's at youth club again. So I'm flying solo for a little bit. She'll probably be back in a bit, and she'll be there, and I shall be handed my wonderful cup of Yorkshire tea in my Circle of Thirds mug. So that's what I'm saying today. So what I've also got planned is we're going to do some pen and paper, guys. We're going to do this now. What we also do is, if the book's 80 lessons, and I realised on my, Mrs. Ricky pointed it out on my landing page for PDF Club. It says there's 200 lessons in there. And we realised that was nonsense because it's over 300. Yes. So the thing is, if you want the handwritten PDFs that I'm going to do for today, you can get them in PDF Club. PDF Club members will get this in their, get it in the community, and they will also get it in their email inbox. So they'll get that there tomorrow. And I've already done this. I've prepared these. So these are some of today's diagrams. So we've got some handy dandy worksheets, but I've got some blank worksheets that are going to go up in PDF Club for you to scribble on, print them off, work out stuff, see it, play it, see it, play it, and then you go, all right, yeah, that's it. All right, okay, it makes sense. Yeah, plot it out so that it's like, if you write things out, if you write your diagrams out, guys, it just goes in. It goes in. It's easier. People are mostly visual. Yeah, you've got to hear what it sounds like, make sure it's right. But the thing is, if you write it in, the process of doing that, it actually makes it super, 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 super congruent. Yeah, and it makes sense what you're doing. Yeah, so really, pencil, draw with pencil on your diagrams until you're that absolutely sure that you go, do you know what? I can do this in pen because I know what I'm doing. How cool is that? Right? Okay, so and this is the thing, right? So that's what that's about. But PDF Club is basically where you can get all my PDFs I've ever done. Yes, and you can also get my future PDFs for future lessons. I've got some really interesting lessons coming up. I've got some more new sort of stuff that I'm going to be bringing to you on Wednesdays. So it's not just going to be stuff from the book, because I've covered a lot of stuff from the book, and I think I've done this Wednesday class for nearly 2 years now. I think nearly 2 years, maybe 18 months to 2 years. Yeah. So and I think I've gone over these lessons, and I'm still going to do that. But I want to bring some other stuff in that's interesting as well. And like I said, that will be for PDF Club. Now, right on the top of the dome, I'm thinking, because I'm tying this lesson in with last week's lesson, which was all based on these power chords, I'm going to do this in E. I don't know if Mrs. Ricky misunderstood me that I was just going to do it all in drop D today, but I'm not going to do it in drop D. But the thing is, what we're going to do, and this is interesting. I think this is really interesting. Now, it might start it might start out, yeah, that as I go through this, you're going to hear these riffs that we're going to be able to create. You're going to hear them and you're going to go, all right, that's hard, that's rock, that's hard rock. Oh, hang on, now it's getting a bit more metal. And then it's just going to, the thing is, I want to be able to give you the full spectrum of minor darkness. Yes, the full spectrum. So we're gonna go delve right into Phrygian dominant. So I'll just give you a little preview. Okay, so we're gonna do minor pentatonic. Now hopefully we'll be able to get through these. Minor blues, natural minor, harmonic minor. Little heads up here. Phrygian dominant, and I do like to do the half whole scale as well because, you know, Slayer, Kerry King from Slayer, it's like his solos they just seem to follow that half whole diminished dominant diminished scale, you know, which is you normally associate with that with jazz, but no, it's metal as well. So this is what I'm saying to you is. Oh, Araman's put it up there. Previous lesson was lesson 64 was on 27th to the 11th, 24. Yes, it's been a while, but I mean, it's like a refresher's good, but it's going to be different today, guys. So we're going to do it a little bit differently. Now, right, okay, so I've just said all that stuff there, but I mean, the thing is, what I want you to do is I just want you to enjoy playing guitar. Everybody enjoyed playing guitar because I think guitar is absolutely the most wonderful thing. I was carrying these back in here today, and I was just thinking, oh, isn't it wonderful? I've gathered so many guitars during my lifetime. You know, obviously it's, you know, I'm a guitar teacher, so I'm going to do that. But it's just like each of them are looking at them and thinking, which one's the prettiest? Which one's the nicest? And I can't. And you know, you have your favourites. You know, you do. But it's like. I just love the whole thing, learning guitar, and it's like, you know, it's like it's an amazing thing. Anyhow, so what I'm saying is if you like the whole thing about playing guitar, but you just want a place to dodge all the BS that goes on in the world, yeah, and you know have nice guitar conversations, then please. I'd love to see you in the Fretboard fraternity. It's a free community that I built for you guys. There's no ads. There's no big tech in there. There's just, you know, it's just you guys. This is your place to be yourself, like, and you know, and share your love of guitar. You know, people are posting music in there that they've been listening to, and it's quite a broad range actually. I was quite surprised at that, and I'm discovering some little gems in there as well, and I like that. I like discovering new stuff, as well as, you know, because sometimes you think to yourself, all right, I'm listening to that album again. I mean, you do have your Desert Island discs. I was kind of thinking about this a couple of days ago. I was thinking, Desert Island discs. So if I could only listen to 5 albums, you know, for the rest of my life, and I was thinking. I don't know if you know this one. One of my favourite albums is Sonic Temple by The Cult, because I think the guitar work on there by Billy Duffy is absolutely it's absolutely wonderful, you know. And was much slated by a rag in the UK called The Enemy, which was more of an indie kind of like studenty thing. They cocked a snook at everything, but the thing is, it's like so it's like. Stuff like that, if you can discover a new album, you know, that new sound that you go, wow, never come across that before. Oh, that's nice. I'll have a listen to that, and you can put it on your whatever player you have. Yes, I'm not going to get into the whole Spotify thing. Yeah, so that's what I'm saying there, guys. I know I'm going on a little bit at the beginning here, but I just wanted to talk about that. So. Join the fraternity. It would be great to see you in there. Just go there. There's a sign up button. Put your name, your best email address in there to get you on, and then you know you'll get notifications of when we go live as well. You'll get notifications about this stuff, and there's a little events calendar as well, and you can click in there and have a look. So that's pretty. I think that's pretty wicked. It's pretty wicked, and there's some other cool things coming in there soon. Sooner or later, I'm just waiting. I'm waiting for the developers to do some other cool stuff in there. So that is the Fretboard Fraternity, guys. That's the Fretboard Fraternity. I'm just gonna talking so much. Some water. We've got some water in there. So yeah, join the Fretboard Fraternity. So like I say, that's what's going on. And now is the roll call is the thing that usually makes me go over. I've realised this. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to put a ticker up for that. Do you see? You see up there? Look, how cool is that? See, it's up there because everybody was looking at that there. And we're gonna have a roll call now. We're gonna do roll call, and we're gonna keep. We're going to keep it within this 15 minutes. Oh, come on. Right, there we go. I was going to be overhead camera, just decided to pack up. We can't have that. So, it's back on now. So what we're going to do is we're going to do the roll call. If it is your first time, like I say, let me know. I'm going to go through the chat, and I'm going to see who's in the chat, and then we'll take it from there. And then once we've done the roll call, then we'll crack on with lesson. Make sure you're tuned up. Get a brew, Yorkshire tea, hopefully. You know, let's keep things proper. And that's what we'll do. Right. So let's have a look. We've got Harry was the first one in today. Hiya from Wolves, hand pink waving. Surinang Foaka, good to have you here. Thunder Ace, my OG, how do? Maria, I've done it again. Always just want to sing your name, Maria. That's the way it is. Eyup to you, and good evening, Fretheads. Araman 3048. That'll say that really broad. 3048. Eyup all from Wet and Windy Burn. Paul Otter, evening all. Winston Moy is in the chat as well. Relaxing meditation. Frank Gladden is here in the chat as well. So we've got quite a few of the regulars are here. Malcolm Dengate in the room, ready for the next lesson. That's good. That's what we want to hear. Jerry Linden is in Sweden. We have, who else have we got in the chat? We've got Lawrence is in the chat in London, just sorting out his beverage of choice for the evening, and he's good to go. Yes, that's the one. I'm thinking I might have a Guinness later on. So that's one of the things I was thinking. I've been hankering for one for a few days. Bill Travis tuning up, good man. Bob P in Virginia. We've got Stuart Smith, Phil James in the chat as well. Good to see you here. A good evening to you, sir. Angus McDonald's in the chat. Eric Collingwood's in the chat, back in class. Hans Nellis, hi everyone. Wade Johnson, hey up from Cowtown. Yeah, again, I don't know why I laugh at that. Ryan YT, that with a kind of an emoji thing. Sasha is there. Is it that one or is it that one? I don't know which one. One of them's evil. One of them's rock. Mark Carter. True. Sean Armour is in the chat. Oh, sporting your new axe. I saw you put photo in the Fretboard Fraternity with your brand new Starcaster. It looks very nice, and I liked your strap as well. Al Moentz, hey up everyone. David Doty is in the chat. Scott Simmons is in the chat. How are you? Colorado is in the room. That's comforting to know, actually, that Scott. It's actually comforting to know that Colorado is here. Robin say, hi everyone. Mike Allen's in the chat. I'm happy to see you looking so marvellous again. I had a little like trim with the beard trimmer thing, and I got some muck on my hair because it's getting a bit unruly now. I'm at the point where I'm thinking to myself, should I get it cut? But I know that I'll regret it because I'm trying to grow it. You know what I mean? I'm going to join a band. Play guitar in a band. I need to grow my hair. I need to look the part. Yes? Don't you? That's what you got to do. You got to live up to it. You know, live up to the dream. I probably might even buy a leather jacket. No, I don't know if I'd do that. But there you go. Rennie Hartman, howdy all. The Analog Kid. Eyup fellow Fretheads. Stefan Weber is in the chat as well from Germany. Deborah says, I think Ricky should put the tabs up for the intro into the FF. Do you know what? I wrote that a while ago, and it was just something I recorded here in an afternoon. I just thought I need some theme music, and I just put something together, and that's what it was. And yeah, so I do want to. There's a load. I've done loads of stuff like that, but there's a lot of rock. So we'll see. Might change the theme tune up. You never know. Martin Bailey is in the chat in sunny Hertfordshire. It's starting to get nice in the UK, isn't it? Cody Lamar is in Arkansas. There we go. Look at that. Just... Annex in the chat. Ricky and Morty, Yamaha Pacifica. Yeah. Randy Holder. Hey up, Randy. I haven't seen you. We haven't seen you for a while. I feel like I haven't seen you for a while. John Carver, evening everyone. Graham Wood in East Yorkshire. Hey up, fellow Yorkie. Rocket67, I can't watch the lesson live tonight. I have to collect my son from work. Wish everyone a good lesson and watch it later. No worries. Absolutely. That's what it's about. It's here to be watched later as well. Carl Whitehead from sunny Nunny. Rob K is here. Ready for class. Good evening from all the Netherlands. Richard Grissom is in the chat as well. Jensen Beach. Tim C is in the chat. Richard Shields. Rich, I haven't seen you for a while as well. I seem to think that you haven't been around for a while. Dancing Pony, 1966. Well, it was a good year, was 1966. Don't we know that it was a good year, don't we? 1966. Was that the year England won the World Cup? It was, wasn't it? I think it was. Yeah. All right. I think so. I'm right. I think so. Irene S. From Petaluma. CA, that's California. Yeah. Sounds Petaluma. Sounds pretty. Telefunken 12AX7 is in the chat. Billy Joe here. Chimp number 1. Hey everyone. Scotland says hi. Three Dogs Brewery. Hey up. Mark Carter. I love the book. Oh, thank you very much. Already to take it in. Restrung Strat with 8.5s. 8.5s. You don't want to fight that guitar today. But you know what? Yngwie plays 8s. So, and so does Tony Iommi from what I understand. So it doesn't matter. Don't bend so much easier. This is it. Why struggle? You know what I mean? Dan Raven says on his second book, as it's filled with notes, Gaming Grognards. I like that. Love the book, Ricky. It changed everything. That's what we want to hear. Jimmy Four Thumbs. I like that. That's a right old blues guitarist name. Yeah, ladies and gentlemen, tonight, live appearing for you on stage, we got Jimmy Four Thumbs. There we go. Almont says, buy the book. Buy the book. Thank you very much. Analog Kid says, I recommend the Spiral Bound. Richard Grissom says, I love it. Paulette says, great book, get it. Tim C, great book. Graham Penfold, hi Ricky, had to do the washing up. You've always got to do the washing up, It's like, if you happy wife, happy life. You know what I'm saying. That's the rule. Stefan Weber got the book and now PDF membership too. Absolutely fantastic resources, both of them. Well, thank you very much for taking the jump into PDF Club as well. I'm hoping you're getting a lot from that. Ron Carrillo as well. Eyup book is a great reference. Had it for over a year. Good. It's something that you use. Get the book. It's gold. Sasha says that. Thank you very much, Sasha. I appreciate that. Relaxing Meditation. Awesome book. Got 2. Gave 1 to Maria Muggs Davis. She loves it. I'm very impressed with it. Oh, that's it. That's lovely. Mark Carter, the best value you can get. Irene says, just purchased the book on the way. Join the fretboard fraternity and post a picture of your book next to your guitar. I can't tell you. What I do is I check in on the fretboard fraternity in the morning, and if there's any new posts with pictures, it's like, and if it was something like that, we want a picture of a dog. I think we've got there now. We know that I like dogs. If there's a picture of a dog in the book, then it's quids. That's beautiful. It's like when you plant flowers. I know this is a bit silly, but when you plant flowers and it's like, and you wait and you kind of watch them and you think, I think that might be opening up today, tomorrow, maybe tomorrow, and then you go downstairs in the morning and it's there and it's waiting for you and it's flowered and it's just absolutely beautiful, and it's just like, isn't that a nice kind of feeling to wake up to? Well, when you do that and you put your picture in the fretboard fraternity, next to a dog or yourself or your guitar. That has a similar thing, and I love that. So if you could do that, that would be wonderful. Rennie Hartman says, you can't do without it. No, you can't. I agree. I can't do without it. Richard Seals, get the book. There's no better reference material in it anywhere. It will make a difference. That's the thing. The book is big bang for the book. It is. It's supposed to be. This is the way. This is what it's all about. And you know, I didn't even know I was going to put that together. Didn't know I was going to write the book. Put it together. You know, so. So there you go. It's not just the book, but all the videos that go with them and the live streams. The book, the live streams, and PDF clubs, Martin says, a happy triad. There you go. That's what you want. Sean says, oh no, Ricky's unsupervised. I am unsupervised at the moment. Elizabeth Azard, got my book, week 3 here, ready to go. That's it. That's the attitude I like. Angus MacDonald, the good book is for life and contains a lifetime's worth of guitar theory. Absolutely must have. Shame I didn't have it about 40 years ago. I get that a lot. After spending dough on everything else guitar, invest in the book so you can see what happens in the table in front of you during the YouTube lessons and later. Yeah, absolutely. Phil James, what is the PDF Club? Well, Phil, you know what PDF Club is. There you go, mate. So now I need Elizabeth needs a mug. Can somebody please post the link? It should be underneath here. It depends where you're watching. Yeah. So if you're watching underneath it, you'll see some mugs under here. There's a selection. There is a selection, and they are lesson mugs, because it's like I was thinking about it, and I was thinking, buy a mug, get a lesson, yeah. And it's like, so I want it to be a learning resource, not just something. It's nice. I like the idea that you can drink out of it. It's a drinking receptacle. It will hold tea. It will hold a cheeky beer if you want to pretend it's tea. But you could also use it and look at it and go, oh, right, yeah, just remind you what the shapes and the patterns look like. Because that's guitar. It's all about patterns, yeah, and shapes. Winston's needs to leave. He's catch his lesson on the replay. Okay, well, see you next time. But Mary, I've been stuck for years, got the book 2 weeks ago. I've learnt stuff I've never run into after decades of learning guitar. That's amazing. Thank you. Oh, thank you very much for all the kind words, guys. Dale Sam is in the chat as well. I'm going to try and scroll down. I can see this thing. Where is it? There. 332. Right, okay, I know that. Your boy Peach, Eyup. Marcel, good to see you in the chat, my friend. Were you here last week, I think, though, weren't you? But it's always nice to see you in the chat. The book is a great way to navigate the way to learn, combined with the PDF Club for the non-plus extra. Yes. Because there's all sorts of gubbins in there, isn't there? Let's see. It took over a year, but I finally got on the live. Hey, there we go. We are live. Well done. Hang on, I'll tell you what we're going to do. Give you a round of applause. First live. Thank you very much for turning up today, Palms Kev. That's great of you to get here, but you are here. That's the main thing. Davey Boy is late, but he has a good excuse. Look, I mean, the thing is, when I start teaching, that's when I think the 10 star jumps in the corner comes into effect. If you're late for class, the 10 star jumps thing is not a bad one. You know, it's good. It's good for you. Yeah, it's discipline. Sometimes you need a bit of discipline, right? Angus McDonald. Oh, you mentioned Wobbly Bob. When's the deep dive lesson, or even the basic one? Well, the beautiful thing is that should be. You know, if I do this, like I say, I'm going to mix up the content and not just do lessons from the book on a Wednesday. That's something I can get into, and I can plan a lesson around that and create a really nice resource for that as well. So that it's like, so you've got a really good diminished theory isn't that hard. It's just knowing where to use it and that sort of stuff. So really, it is essential for when you want to get into that stuff. That's what we're saying, anyhow. Right, so David Dossie says, E-Doran with open thick E string as a drone is my favourite exotic. There you go, only saying. Well, that's the thing. Wait, it's not metal, though. So the thing is, it does sound a bit more folky, actually, I think. But it is nice. I do like it as well. Angus McDonald says, Enemy. Yeah, it was a right old rag. So there we go. Learning loads from the book, Lawrence Oge. I haven't got to the end yet, just skimmed over the later topics for deeper diving time. Well, that's the way it works. Clagmire, yo, Ricky, here again from Central Oregon. Jerry Moffat's in the chat. Excuse me. And we have Paul B. Hola. with Jim Weathers. First timer. Oh, thank you very much for turning up tonight. Round of applause. Thank you. Clappez les mains. We got Eric Hartwell in the chat. What's up? Jasmine Elek here and ready to learn from San Francisco. We've got Mike Isdior is in the chat. First time. Oh, we've got another first time. We've got some more first timers here. Thank you very much. Vicky's neglected signing in. Hey all. There you go. Nice to have you here, Vicky. As usual. Anton's in the chat. Dan Lafferty in Minnesota. James. Hello, folks. It's that Eeyore. It looks like Eeyore. AMC, Eyup, Sandy B. Sorry I'm late. Lost track of time practicing my songs for Friday's gig at the Cantor. Ah, you're doing it, dude. This is it. This is the thing. That's what we want to know. We want to see that happening. Help a fellow out with YouTube metrics and hit that like button. Oh, wonderful, Marcel. I just add that to the broadcast there, just so everybody knows. Nancy Parsons, nice to see you, Nancy. Brian Boss in Iowa. Duke of Earl. I remember that song, Duke of Earl. Yeah, a good song when I was a kid, that one. Winston Ellis in Wales. John C. in Galway, Ireland. David Boy. Well, we've already said hello to David, but he was late. But do he still have to do his star jumps? Yes. No, you don't, because I haven't started the lesson. Phil Swan. All right, any news on the hard copy version of the PDFs you spoke about on a recent email? Yeah, we'll talk about doing PDF Club as a book, going from the beginning. But I think what seemed to be a consensus was if I could compile similar topics into books. So they are kind of like the extracts from PDF Club. I have to think about it a bit more and present it in a really good way for the learner. I have to make sure that it's all put together well. So yeah, I'm still thinking about it, Phil. Yeah, Alwine says if you cut your hair, you won't play guitar as well. No, I won't. And I'll lose all my strength. So would be cool to have a fretboard theme tune for us all to play live meetup. Yeah. Dark Chance thought it was late, but you can see there is still 10 minutes before the lesson starts. The timer's stopped. Shauna's in that chat as well. Oh, Chimp number 1. Thank you very much. I just wanted to say thank you for that. I appreciate it. Randy's at work. Ingo Knoll is in the chat. Where are we? Getting down here. Blues Pool got the book. Itchak Cornfield, Sut Witty Kutchy and Tidy from Wales. I think I kind of know what that means. It's well, shouldn't it? You'll have to probably help me out a bit there, Itchak. Peter Bagley, yo, first time, Lytham St Anne's. Oh yeah, well that's nice. It's nice in Lytham St Anne's, I think, isn't it? Yeah, we'll give you a round of applause. Thank you for turning up today. Shauna came for the waffles and syrup. The waffles are still here. Thanks for shout out, Ricky. Love this session. Oh no worries, not a problem. Yeah, Kevin Abad, you got the book, pretty good. Thank you very much. Well, these Wednesday classes are all about making it make sense. So we are getting through this. Does PDF Club include the book? I think, well, it's kind of compiled from a lot of that, but there is some of it in there, but I don't know if there's all of it in there. I'm not sure. I'd have to check and go through that. But, I mean, the thing is, generally what I have done as well is if there's more than one handout, and I've got fancy ones and I've got the handwritten ones. You guys seem to like the handwritten notes. I like to tidy them up and make them all nice and print ready for you. So that's generally what I tend to do. If I think that the PDFs are a bit too scruffy and I think, oh, even I can't read my own handwriting there, then what I'll do is I'll tidy them up. So it's all that as well, and there's all extras as well. There's loads of blank PDFs and stuff like that for working things out, and cheat sheets and all sorts of different other gubbins in there. You check it out on the you can look there. That's where you go and check it out, and it tells you what goes on in there. So we've got Nile Rodgers, use as slick as you can. Right, we are getting towards the end of this. I want to get cracking with this. Michael Davis, the Welsh Dragon from Neath, is stuck on the M25 and cannot take part tonight. I will catch up. Keep up the great work. Thank you very much, Jeff Garrison. Does it have Does it have and explain the practical application for extended superimposed arpeggios? Well, I mean, we could get into superimposing arpeggios up with using the extensions. I mean, it's not something I've done that for my one-to-one students and stuff like that in the past. I've probably got notes on it somewhere that I've drawn out and written out. So if it was something that people wanted, then that's what I'd put up. Right, okay, so let's have a look. We got there. Chuck finally made it. Who else have we got? Stephen Conley. What is a star jump? It's like a burpee. It's like a burpee. Phantom, he's still talking. You would stretch the evening with another 30 minutes. Star jumps are jumping jacks. You call them different things. Patrick Gerrity's in the chat in Long Island. Mokana found it. Good. Ingo Knoll played comfortably numb with power chords. That's the homework, guys. I said that, didn't I? I said, just blag the song. Sing the words, blag the song. That was the homework that I set for last week, guys. Martin Bailey, Samson. Yes. John Steers in the chat as well. We have Lucas Duda in the chat. Hi. Shauna, stop bullying me. Stop bullying me. The clock says 0, lol. Mrs. Ricky's back now. And then we've got Indian. Hi, sir. Please help me with playing of notes within chords. Well, that's not what we're doing today, Indian. So you'll hopefully you'll get something from the lesson if you stick around. There we go. So we are down to the bottom. HX says, "How are you? I'm wonderful." Kuich Cuddle. I thought it was. I remembered that because I'd seen it on a cushion or something like that somewhere we stayed in Wales, and I was that good. Well done, tidy. Yes. So we have done the roll call. Someone's gonna roll. Someone's gonna roll in any minute now. So like I say. What we are going to do, John C says, going to do some bits on Randy Rhoads tonight. Ricky, I would do. Look, put these things in the fretboard fraternity. Just put them in the fretboard fraternity. Can't I'm falling in love with. Did it work there, Randy? Did it work just doing power chords? That's what we want to know. Could you sing along? Randy Rhoads. I'd have to noggin up on some Randy Rhoads stuff. He's never been really one on my radar as Randy. I know that's sacrilege. But there's certain players that I just didn't really... I've never really kind of understood. Or I've had players that have been around that time that I just like... Those were the ones I was obsessing over. Really, more than anything else. So, let's take this down here. We're going to take this down here. And then, like it says, look at the top there, guys. You can see that's the lesson from the book. Yeah, and this is, like I say, this is called the Blues... Ooh, look, will it focus? It's Blues Scale Infinite Riff System. That's the one. Lesson 64, page 70. Right. Okay. We've got enough going on here. Now, what I'm going to do is, first things first, right? So I'm going to explain how I come to this idea. And what it was if you, and it's really, really simple, yeah? If you follow a scale, if you follow the scale and you write your riffs on the chords that the notes of that scale form on the strings, yes, it's a very stylistic thing, yes, and I'll show you some of the stylistic things that are going to apply to it. But what happens is that it'll show you where the chords are going to go, and this will make sense as I write this out here. So we're going to start simple. We're going to start simple with the minor pentatonic. Now, first thing we're going to do is we're going to do this. We're going to do this in E. Yeah, so this is an E minor idea. Now, it can be pentatonic. I think of Phrygian as being a minor. I think of Phrygian dominant as being a minor, even though it's got a major third. But yeah, kind of. But when you mix these things, yeah, then you can be very artistic with this. Artistic license is something that is massive with this idea. Right, so So like I say, the scales matches the riffs that they're built on. So I just want to show you how these structures come into being, how they manifest on the fretboard. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to switch over onto this here. I'm going to switch over here. Now, the first one I'm going to get into here, guys, is I'm going to get into the minor pentatonic. Now, yeah, in the back of the book, I should just show you, there is like a little codex. There is a little codex here, right? And what it does is it tells you the scale formulas, right? And so this, you can do this with any of these guys, and they're all in here actually. You know, we've got the Phrygian dominant in there, and we've got the altered scale, and we've got all that stuff going on in there. So we can do all that business in there, right? And then we can see what we've got, what we need to put down on here. So I just want to show you how this works. Now, the way I think of this, the minor pentatonic, it's got a root, it's got a flat third, it's got a fourth, it's got a fifth, and it's got a flat seven, because it's a pentatonic. Pent is 5, tonic means tones. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to write it out, and it's in a position where you might play it, and then, do you know what, I'll actually play it, but that'll do that after I've rolled it out. Now, I kind of think they're kind of like them little sweeties, the licorice all sorts. You get a blue or a pink sweet in the middle, and then it wraps round with licorice. You roll it out, and then you get a long strip of licorice. I'm sure there's other candy that does that in the States. I don't know what you call that, fruit loops or something stuff like that, or fruit shoots. I don't know what they call them, but that's the way I think about it. It's almost like a fern, the way it unfurls. So here is this. I'm going to put this here on the string here. So we've got the root, we've got a flat third, we've got the fourth, we've got the fifth, we've got the flat seven. So you can see that what happens is we've got 5 notes. Just to kind of finish that off, I'm going to put that root note here. Now, the cool thing about this is, actually, if you know this pattern, who already recognizes this box pattern here? Who can already see that and think to yourself, hang on, this looks familiar. This, you might be thinking to yourself, well, hang on, Ricky, that looks like the beginning of box 1. And it is, it's the box 1 of the minor pentatonic. So what I could do is I could just complete that, yeah, and then what I can think to myself is, all right, what position am I at with this? And so it shows you where you put your solos as well. So this is the beautiful thing about this. So I'm just going to put those in there. And if you're not sure what interval comes next, then what you do is you just use your caged octaves to help you. Look, so you go like this. You go, oh, hang on, what's that one there? Is that the fifth? You know that's the flat third, fourth, and you should know that that's the fifth there, right? Okay. But look, if you look across, you'll see your caged octaves there. Can I zoom in a little bit on that? I wonder if I can. I can indeed. Look at that. I'm clever with all this technology. Hopefully you can see that there, guys. Look, so root, flat third, fourth, fifth, flat 7, root, and then it starts again, the scale. So you can see it runs through it twice. It goes up 2 octaves, essentially. So, but hopefully you can see that the caged octaves, where they live, and the shapes that they form in there. So this is all tying in with the cage system stuff, guys. So we've got the 5th there. We can see that what comes after the 5th is going to be the flat 7, which lives just there. And then we get the root note there. Now, really, that's up 1 octave, and that's the 2nd octave to finish it off. But, you know, we just play 2 notes per string there, and that gives us that shape. So that is the shape, and you can see that this is actually 0, 1, 2, 3. So that's in that position there. Now, if you're clever, and I'll show you this. Yeah, if you're clever and you think on, right, what you'll realize is that this will transpose up an octave, okay? And I'll get onto that. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to unravel this. I'm going to unroll the scale, yeah? And I'm going to put it down 1 string. Instead of putting it in 1 position across 3 frets there, or 4 frets really, what I'm going to do is I'm going to put it on the string. Now, this is important as well. There's another lesson in the book called Washing Line Blues. That concept is really useful for knowing where your chords are going to go. So we've got a root, we've got a flat third here, we've got the fourth lives here, we've got the fifth lives here, we've got the flat 7 lives here, and then we're back at the root just here. Yeah, does that make sense? So you can see we've got this scale here. This is, because this is E, I'm going to put that there. I'll just put that as E minor pentatonic. But this will transpose, and you can shift it and start it on different strings and everything else. But you've got to remember that everything's going to move along with it. What I'm going to do is I'm just going to put these notes here. I'm just going to draw some circles on there like that with this. All right? Because what we're going to do is, because we know this, we're going to transfer these values that we have here, and we're going to transfer them over onto the, we'll put them onto the A string, and we'll put them onto the D string as well. But first things first, what I want you to do is I want you to be able to hear the sound, because now when I play the sound, it will make sense. So here we go. So we've got open, root, flat third, open A string, 2nd fret is going to give me the 5th, that open A string was the 4th, so root, flat 3rd, 4th, 5th, flat 7th, root, okay? Yeah, so we can hear, you can play an E minor power chord with that, or an E minor chord with that, or just an E power chord, an E5. It works a treat. So we've got that there. Now, listening to this, guys. What I did was, instead of having it all in one position down here, we stretch it out up here. Yeah, we stretch it out up here. Now, this is where this gets interesting, because if we think about it, when we did power chords last week, yes, we had kind of 2-finger power chords and we had 3-finger power chords. And this is what this does, is generally it gives us this opportunity. But I want you to see that when I fill these notes out, other things are going to happen. So because I use each of these notes of the scale as root notes for a power chord, what that does is it gives me 5 power chords up the neck. So I go like this. There's the E. This is going to be the G. Okay. This is going to be the A. This is going to be the B. This is going to be a D. And then I'm back up here at E again. And you can already hear that it sounds, you can hear the guitar this week. Oh, wonderful. That's why I'm glad. So we've got that there. Now, the thing is to know, if you remember from last week, you think to yourself, caged. Any of those shapes, can I transfer any of those shapes along here? So I can have the fretted power chord, like that. I can add that extra finger, remember, because what that did is it added another root note. That's a G. That's a G there. There. There's the full power chord. But if I want a ringy power chord, I'll have that. But if I want a tighter, more chuggier, then that's what I'm going to do there. That's coupled with the palm muted. Yeah, so you've got that. So then you've got variations on that. This happens to be an A, so I can put this power chord here, there. Now I know that's an A. It's part of my caged acronym, so I know that I have that as an option as a power chord that's one of a caged variety here, like this. So I know that automatically I've got. Right, so I've got that. But then I've got this B. Now there is no B in caged, yes? So we're going to think about where we play that. We can transfer it down using the... do you remember the little trick with doing the mathematical equation to find the same note? So if we want this note here... Pardon? The scrolly thing's still on at the top. Alright, okay. I'll take that off there. Whoop. There we go. Right, so what we got, so we take that there, we've got that B there, so we take that note, and if we want to find it, this is a super easy way of, instead of hunting around, guys, right, I've done a video on it, right, what we do is we subtract 5 from the number of fret that we're at. We're at fret 7, subtract 5, drops down onto the next string, you find the same note, okay, you get the same thing, beige, bagged, yeah. So you can see that you get the same power chord but in 2 different areas. This one sounds a bit, for me it sounds a little bit more woolly. Whereas this is a bit sharper, a bit crisper. So this is a way of thinking about it where it's like, be a bit discerning about what it sounds like. You know, you can think to yourself, all right, well, if somebody's playing down there, even if we are doubling up on that, well, if I can sound just a little bit different because my strings are thicker than the other guitarists, then that would be interesting as well. You know, make it just a little bit cooler. So we've got that there. So there's the B. But we've got the D here. Okay, so we can play the D here. And we have an open D here in the caged power chords as well. Yeah, so we've got... So you can see how those are going to be other voicings you're going to be able to include. If somebody's here, somebody's up here going... I'm not trying not to do paranoid. So someone's up here, and you're down here with a big ringy Pete Townsend motion, scissor kicks and windmills, the whole shebang. Just don't go smashing your guitars up. Yeah. Sonically different, position-wise different. But that's what's going to add depth. And I will say, it's not just for jamming, it's for if you're recording, and this is the whole thing, writing riffs. So you're there. Now, those 5 notes, they're so ingrained in human understanding, yeah, the pentatonic, yeah, it's so ingrained, the most human sort of scale. There's I think it's Bobby McFerrin did a thing on the pentatonic. I'll post that in the Fretboard Fraternity actually, and he did a wonderful thing where he gets a whole group of people to sing scale notes. Yeah, and they've never done it before, and it's fascinating. I'll post that. But it's interesting how this works with the pentatonic. Now, I'm going to use this. I'm going to do the same sheet here. Oh, my camera's gone again. What's going on? Oh, it's back now. There we go. Right, I shouldn't bang that table so hard. Right, so now what I'm going to do is I'm going to switch to this. I'm going to switch back to this, guys. Hopefully you can see. Licorice Catherine Wheel. That's the one. That's the one, David. Wobbly Bob, the horrible blue round bobbly thing in the middle. Yeah, I wasn't a fan of them. I like the licorice, you know, but not the other. Now, here's the thing. I'm going to do this on the same sheet just so that you can see how this alters it massively. But I'm going to explain as well what's going on with this. We're going to have an E minor blues scale, okay? The formula for that is my shopping list of notes that I need. Yeah, a root, a flat third, a fourth, a fifth, and a flat 7, which is my minor blues, which is my minor pentatonic, sorry. But what I do is I've got to add this flat 5 as well, okay? So by adding that, let me put that in a different colour, right? So I'm going to put that in here, and I know because it's the blue note, I should be writing it in blue, but I'm going to do it in red. This is going to be the flat 5 here. I'm going to put that in there. Look, I'm going to put it in an A-shaped octave. Look, I just added that with the A-shaped octave. I'll zoom in so you can see that. Let me just zoom in. Can you see? Look at that flat 5. I put it there. If I know it's on the A string and I know my A-shaped octaves, I can just cross over and I can go there. Oh, there it is. That's where you live. Right? I know where it lives. Okay, wonderful. But now I can see that it's It's in between the 4th and the 5th. So let me put it on here. I'm going to put that flat 5 just on there. Now, that innocuous little move there has changed everything, because the flat 5, yeah, is also sharp 4, okay? But it's also AKA a tritone, right? And you'll find that the 6th fret, yeah, if you go from the 12th fret to the 6th, that's a tritone. And if you go from the open to the 6th, that's a tritone as well. It's 3 tones going up. So you get the tritone. Let me write that on there. Tritone and tritone. And the tritone is this little sucker. Let me show you what the tritone sounds like. And you'll love it. So you could hear that minor pentatonic was super basic. Yes, so it's like, so we've got super basic, kind of a bit pedestrian, very vanilla. But look, watch this. That's the tritone, aka the devil's interval. Okay, so we've got that there. Now if I build a power chord on that, go to the E, now you started to bring some metal into it, and you can hear that starts to sound a bit more evil, doesn't it? So the whole in fact, actually, well, you could play it like that, yeah, because that's what it's based on, yeah. Now we can add it here. Now, if you like Sabbath, Phil James has put that there. If you like Sabbath, then this is gonna give you that vibe. But and another thing is like, if it sounds like these bands that you know and love, then you're already kind of halfway to the point of like thinking to yourself, oh, well, what, you know, you're spotting things, you're learning the song, you've got the song sheet in front of you, you've got the tabs or whatever, and it's like, and the thing is, tabs don't show you where things live on the neck. You've got to figure that out. So if you've got this framework of like being able to go, all right, okay, that's there, and everything, then you can go, actually, it sounds like the blues scale does that. That's the tritone. It sounds evil. Yes, so. Yeah, so you can hear it there. Yeah, we can do stuff like that. So now a thing that's going to feature heavily actually is I'm going to use a lot of this open E string. So it's a good idea knowing where these things are here, these notes are. I don't think that might be. That sounds like something like Wolf Mother. Something like that. But it sounds like something. But and even if it doesn't, I just made it up just now. And that's what I'm saying. It's just like. Yeah, so. Yes, it might have been. You see, what you've got is you've got this beautiful, let me just zoom in here. So I can play it as a 3-fingered. Now the cool thing is like I showed you here, the scale goes like this. That's where the scale lives, down there in that position. Yeah. Now the thing is, I can move this up, like I mentioned, up an octave. And I take that scale up here. Now I know where to solo using box 1. So I have the position to solo, but I know where the chords are going to live to write the thing. And you can figure it out and you go, all right, okay, yeah. Now, I love the old harmonic minor a lot, but I'm not going to go there yet. But the thing that I want to show you is we can be very liberal with how we treat these notes here. We can base power chords, just power chords on them. They might not always sound right, especially when we start getting into more complex scales, but let me just show you what I was saying about fleshing these out. And then what it'll do is it will move us away from just playing roots and fifths that we were doing last week, the basic power chord. Okay, so like I was saying here, that's the fourth, right? So we had the fourth here, and we got the fifth here. And then in between the fifth, look at that distance between there, guys, between the fifth and the flat seventh. You'll notice that gives you a minor third distance. We've got a minor third distance there. So let's go up there again. The flat 7 lives here. Okay, then we get up to the root note here again. Now this is a critical one because this is a root and this is a root here, guys. So this is telling me where, instead of playing that low power chord down here, I can play a higher voiced one up here now. This is going to be my root note for the power chord. Now, we're going to go root, we're going to go up a flat to the flat third there, and then we're going to find the fourth just here. Now, like I say, I'm going to put it in just for the hell of it. The flat 5 is going to live here, and it's going to live here as well. But what I'm looking out for here is I'm looking out for my obvious power chords. So if you remember what I talked about with the power chord, you go up 2 frets, and so it's like how the knight moves in chess. Yes, does that make sense? The horse. Hang on, let me see if I can draw one. Let's draw a horse like that. Does it look like a horse? Kind of. Right. Okay. So we've got a chess piece. It's the horse. Okay. Right. That's the one. And it's the way that this moves. It goes up 2 over 1. Remember, that's your power chord basic sort of shape thing. Right. So we've got that there. Let's give it an eye. There you go. So it looks more like a griffin. There you go. Well, I'll have a griffin or a parrot. So we'll do that there, right? But what we're going to do as well to help to flesh this out is we're going to put the other notes in on the D string. So we're going to have the flat 7 here, which means we get another root here. We can see where those repeating root notes happen. That's a root there in that E octave there. Okay? So we've got that there. So let's go up here and we can see root to flat third here. Okay? Root to flat third. And then what we do is we go up. We use the octaves to help us. We're going to have the 4th here. We're going to have the 5th here. And then what happens is we get up to the flat 7 back here again at the 12th fret. So you start to see it's not just looking like power chord shapes. We start to get some other stuff. It's a chicken. It's a dead parrot. This parrot is deceased. Right? So we've got that going on there. Now, so here you can start to see we get some little major third dyad there. We get a minor third dyad there. Dyad is 2 notes, yeah? So dyad, I'll put that on there. Dyad, 2 notes, yeah? It's the same as an interval, but the intervals they are melodic and they are harmonic. So we've got to be careful how we define these things because people will shout at you on the internet if you say them wrong, right? So, but what we can see here is is I've got options now. I wonder if I can be really clever and I can put this here. I'll put this one here. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to zoom in a little bit on it, and I'm going to zoom in on this so you can see all of that pattern there. Let's move that over that way. Yeah, we're cooking here. We're cooking with gas. Right, and then what we're going to do is we're going to chuck me over there. Right, and chuck that there. And then on this one, I'm going to zoom in on the guitar. There we go. There we go. We've got some technology going on here. Tell you. Right, so what we've got is we've got this here. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to point at the shape. So if we look at this one here, we've got this open E here. I'm going to use this as my first foundation for my power chord. I could have this root to this, root to the... Now, doesn't that sound evil? Oh, hang on, I was doing that, the wrong position. You can see we've got this shape as well. Look, I can see that one where that lives there. But I do like this. I do like... Now, doesn't that sound like... Flat 5 is on the... Oh, it is! You're right. It is tip X tape time. Oh! Right, okay. I was thinking in drop D. I was playing drop D earlier on, so that's what I was thinking. Right, you're right. Well spotted. Where's the red pen? There we go. We've got the flat 5 here. There we go. Guitar and technology. I was getting so excited about about being able to share my screen. Right, so we've got that. Does this? I mean, you can already see all we're dealing with here is the minor blues scale, and you would never have thought that would have sounded so evil. Yeah, we've got that there. So any of those notes there are fair game. Even the open strings, look at that. Yeah, so open. And then what I can do is I can see on that G, see where my power chord lives. There. Moving up here, I can see where my power chord lives on that one. I can also see I've got this... Looks like the top half of a G shape there. Shape there. And I've got a power chord that's available there. Yes. And I have this one. Now, guys, you might be thinking to yourself, crikey, this sounds heavy, Ricky, but don't worry, it's not always, well, I don't know if it's all going to be heavy. It's like, once you start to see these shapes, then you can think, all right, okay, well, what can I do with them? And this is the thing. So we take that there. So this is my A chord. Look at that. I just put that flat 5 on there. So because I can see where all the notes go, I can play these different shapes. Look at that. That's a shape there. I'm playing the flat 5, I'm playing the flat 7, and I'm playing this 4th here. So I'm playing... So that to me sounds very sort of Biffy, Clyro-y. Right, so we've got all that going on there. Now I can use these for just riffing as well. Yep. Yeah, it would be if it was in D standard. Yeah, so you can see there, we've got that there. Now if we move up to the 7th fret, power chord's still there, but if you notice, there's no 5th on it. There's no 5th on it. So what ends up happening is we've got the root note there. We've got the E that we can get here. I'm going to move over onto that, but we get this shape here. I'm barring over the E and the A string with one finger, and my 3rd finger's holding down 2 frets higher on the D string. Yep. Should the 3rd on the D string be 1 fret up? Which one? No, that's right. It's fine. The D's are flat. The flat 3rd, because that's a major 3rd. You can see it there. Right. Okay. That's not just sustain you're using, is it? This is. It's just a kind of like an overdriven sound, Sean. Yeah. So the thing is, what I'm leveraging here, Sean, actually, is the way that perfect fourths work against each other. Okay, this sound here, and this is a point in case that the power chord doesn't have to just be a root and a 5th. It could be a root and a 4th. Now, what I'm saying is I'm imagining that's the root and that's the 4th. I could play all those 3 notes across there. Yeah. But then if I want to round it off with that note to make it congruent, then I can do. And this is an interesting thing. Like this. I love this chord. I love this shape. Because what you can do is you can make any power chord double heavier. Yeah. If you've got this on a A string root note and a D here, what we could do is we can just flip it and invert it. If we take the root note and we chuck it on the thick E string an octave down, then really we can think of it as an E in 2nd inversion. Yes. Or you could actually think of it as being a kind of a sus4, but I don't think that makes much sense because we're thinking about power chords, and I think 5ths and perfect 5ths and perfect 4ths, they're inversions of each other, so just helps to think of them in like that. Now this is going to sound super, super heavy, and let me just move this around here so you can hear this. That's a super heavy way of playing that B that we had before. That was, you see, that's very, very. If I play it like that, it's very rock. But if I want it metal, then what I do is I just invert it, and I get this sound. This is something. There's a band called Silosis. Yeah, and it's a very heavy sound, but the thing is, all I'm doing is I'm taking that power chord there, and then I'm making it heavier by doing that, by adding that perfect 4th, which kind of gives you this growly texture. Okay, now we've got that. No worries, Dark Gent. We'll see you next time. See you. Enjoy the recording. So we've got that there. Now, funny enough, let's look at this. What's going to do is, as well, is we can start to see that. Hang on, looking at that there. There's no power chord available to us from the 5th. There, it's no. If that 5th was the root of a power chord, and at the 4th fret, you'd imagine that the 5th would be there. You can use artistic license to do that, but what you might want to do is play the 5th and that 3rd there. That's actually going to give you a kind of an inverted sound. So if I do that, now we can get back to a bit more sort of rock sort of thing. And it starts to introduce those things. It's been a while since I played that riff, but that's the idea. Moving from this, and we're expanding it. Now, there's two ways we can think of it. We can think if this is the root note, yeah, then that's going to be the third. Yeah, so these are really inversions, but you can also think of them as sixths. Yeah, so that's a minor sixth. So these power chords, they're gonna teach you your intervals as well. Okay, so you can see where these different shapes are going to occur, right? Interesting. There's so many cool little shapes. You know, using the flat 5. If you use the flat 5, it's going to definitely sound evil. Yeah, yeah. You can see here, 10th fret. Look at what I've got here. I'm sure that's in the screen. So I've got my double stop over there, over the E and the A string. Okay, and then we've got this third finger on the D string. So you know, we can think about how these sounds are working, although that's what that should be, because there is no C in there. Now, so the thing is, so thirds are sixths. Yes, absolutely. John, you know, this is the whole. Oh, cracky! This is the whole point of this is the whole point of the understanding of your inverting intervals, because then you start to see how these things will work, and you get these two notes, dyad inversions of each other. So you can take the perfect fifth and think to yourself, it's a perfect fourth as well. So I can do those things, and rather sixes are thirds, sixes interchangeable. So really. And then you start to see, hang on, let me, I'm going to have to go back to, was it that one there? Go back to that there and just drag myself, oh hang on, what have I done? Not that, we don't do that, we don't want to shut down the computer, thank you very much. Yeah, so if I go back there, right, so if I go back there again, and then I zoom in again, right, what we do, right, we can even take a normal power chord, like this, and just get rid of that extra one and just play like that. Two notes. And it sounds heavy. Can you hear the heaviness? You can even double up on it. 2 octaves of dirt and filth. There. Right? And I know that when I play that there, I know my solo is going to live there, okay? Because the thing is, those riffs are based on the same scale that the solo uses, guys. And that's the thing, it's matching, it just matches. You know, it's like Phil. Phil, you know when you go, oh, that's a bit weird, a weird effect. You know when you go to the seaside, yeah, and you put your bikini on, yeah, you've got to make sure that the bottom and the top matches, otherwise it just looks weird. Yeah, so the thing is, that's what I'm saying. Yeah, so we just got to match the bikini, guys. We're just matching the bikini. Now, I know this isn't everyone's cup of tea. I'm aware of that, yeah? But the thing is, yes, that equally, hang on, let me just play around with this idea a little bit more. Oh, hang on, not that one there. I've just knocked that off. I'm going to switch to a clean sound, actually. Let's have a look. That's right. So I've got a clean sound, okay? Not only is the scale going to tell me, yeah, remember we had 0, 3, we had 5, 6, 7, 10. Right, so we had E, G, A, B, B flat, and then we had D, and those could be my chords for a song. Yeah, so open chords are going to be the same thing. Your bar chords or whatever it is, yeah? We're just looking at the power chords as being a cheat, really, for not playing massively complex jazz chords. It's about a texture. It's the texture of the sound, yeah? So if I go like that, I have that going. That going on there. I know where to solo. Same scale. I'm just matching it. And I can think to myself, because I'm playing, if I played the flat 5, I'd get a B flat chord in. Can you hear? It takes us out a little bit. And that's all right, you know, because sometimes it's like, I think what's a good idea is just to throw a chord in that is just like, it's from another key. Don't think about it too much. It's kind of like the idea of, but guitar is for yourself, it is. You know, just throw it in there, kind of like what I think of as being the Nirvana sort of sound. You just, and that's fine. I'm fine. I'm fine. I have super thick skin, right? So the thing, so we've got that there. We've got that there, so we can play it in chords, guys. I'm just saying to you, you're thinking to yourself, oh, these power chords, they sound too heavy. I just want to make sure that you really understand that this whole thing, it can be played in a multiple different ways. It's the textures you use in your amps, your pedals, and everything else like that. So, on a back to a sheet again. Let's zoom back out again. So we've got those places there. What I've done is I've left this here. You can see there's so many different power chords there. Yeah. I've left some boxes for you to be able to draw some chords in and find some riffs and make some riffs and things that you might think, all right, yeah, I could do that. But you know, and this is the cool thing about this. Actually, while I'm doing this, let me just go back to that again and just show you something else that will happen with this. I'm going to move that over there. I'm going to switch back to the camera. I'm going to drag myself over into that window there. I've got 2 Rickies there. Looks a bit weird, but there we go. Right, so we've got that there. What I can show you as well, which is a nice one. No worries, Rich. I'll see you soon. So the cap has to match the drips. If I go back to my dirty sound here, okay. Yeah, so we've got the dirty sound again. And then I zoom in. What I can do is I can really make it sound in E by referencing that open drony E note, and I do that by just hammering it. Downstrokes. If you have just do downstrokes. Gallops, triplets, whatever you want to put in there. Yeah, so we're doing that there. We can keep that as a reference, and that's a tonal center. This is the thing about metal and rock. It always they like these tonal centers just to say the tune is in this key. It's in E, it's in A, it's in D, it's in whatever key. Yeah. So the thing is, I've got this power chord here. Now, if I which one am I on? I'm on. No, not on that one there. How do I change myself? Let me just switch that. Ah, there you go. I've got to do that there. Right. So what I can do, this is the E. So instead of playing the E down all the way down here, yeah, I move it up to an octave higher. You can hear there. Right. So there's the E power chord. Yeah. I'm trying to remember the riff now. I'm getting two riffs mixed up, but that's the one that's trying to bully me into playing it. But this, I can't remember what it is now. But it's in here. It's here in E. And what I can do is I can use these notes going down the A string now as foundation root notes for power chords. So if I do that, let me look at that. I'm going to go from the 10th fret. So you can see I go from there down to the B here and then go for that flat 5, which sounds evil. Yeah? I can't remember the chord, the song. Put that flat 5 in. That was Communication Breakdown. But it was this one. Oh, it's another Zepp song. I can't remember. But we'll get there. So the thing is, just to give you that idea that those can move down. And then what you do is you contrast that with your bigger, thicker, chunkier chords that you might have. Yeah, so we've got a whole bunch of other different ways we can utilize that. I'm being very, very generic. Yeah, I'm trying not to play anything copyrighted as well. So, because we're getting to bother when we do that. Okay, so get rid of that. So that is the minor pentatonic. Now we can do it. We can do it with the natural minor, but I want to get into something that's a bit more of a. It's a bit more contrasted, yeah. And it's probably going to be useful if I don't actually write this out. I'll just show you the diagram. Where are we at with time? Right. Okay. So look, we've got the minor pentatonic. Yeah, we've got the minor pentatonic. We turn that into the minor blues. That's the framework that we get there. I'll zoom out a wee bit on that. There, let's go there. And then, so we've got the minor blues there. So let's look at something else. We want it, say we wanted to get something that was a little bit more. I'm going to skip the natural minor. Natural minor is going to sound very ballady. It's a bit more hard rock is this one, but you start to see where all the little shapes come into play here. I've got the intervals going down here with the names of the intervals and the spacings, and then they've just applied them here to the three thickest strings there, just to kind of show how that works there. But the one that I wanted to get onto was, and we'll maybe come back to harmonic minor. It's a favourite of mine, but we'll do Phrygian. Yeah. Now this is the beautiful thing about Phrygian is that it shows us it's a minor scale because it's got a minor third. Look at the way that it's spelled. It's got this flat third there. But the thing is, you'll notice about Phrygian is that it's got a flat sixth and it's got a flat second as well. So this kind of works out great. I'm going to draw out the scale here again. I'm going to draw it out here. So I've got a root there. I've got a flat second just there. I've got a semitone right away there, guys. So then what happens is I get my flat third here, fourth. A lot of the intervals are exactly the same, but we've got extra ones going on in here. We've got the flat six, right, and then we get the flat seven here. And what I can do is I can just do the same thing here like I did before. I'm going to zoom in on that. Actually, zoom in on that portion there. Right, what I can do is I can take that pattern, I go flat 7, there's my root, there's my flat second again, and then I can go to myself, all right, okay, so I've got my flat second there. Let's put the flat third here. Let's put the fourth here. Let's put the flat, let's put the fifth here. Let's put the flat sixth just here. Let's put the flat 7 here. We get the root again here. So that's 2 octaves, but just complete the string. Let's put that there. And then we put this flat 3 here. Now, you can play this. And I'm going to start playing this clean. I'm going to play this clean, okay? This sound here. Remember, this is all based on using that open E string. So we've got an E Phrygian there. And remember, it's Phrygian. It's a minor mode, right? It's a minor mode. So that means it's going to be E minor. That is going to be the home chord for it, okay? So we can think about it from that perspective. Let me just switch back to the guitar. So here is this. Let me just put it back on a clean sound. There you go. Here, it's a Spanishy sounding minor is Phrygian. That's the way I kind of think of it. Now you can think to yourself, all right, well, where else can I play? You know, using those, I can play that up there, but I don't have to just play a power chord. I can play a full chord. So I'm there and I'm going, I think, yeah. Oh, so I've got that there. Okay. You hear that? So we've got the E minor there. Got the E minor there. And it sounds completely different. It sounds more exotic than the pentatonic. You love the way I'm progressing with the use of my streaming software. Yeah, it's about time. Yeah, so take that scale there. Now, what I can do is, because I've already looked at the shapes and stuff that we need, but from a power chord perspective, this introduces a lot, and Paul's actually just said something like a Clint Eastwood movie. Now the thing is, I was just about to say Metallica. Metallica had that period where they did all the kind of music that sounded like Phil said, isn't Phrygian basically a Locrian without a sharp 4? No, that's a complicated way to think of it. We don't think of Locrian that much. We don't think we really try not to get involved with Locrian. Yeah, so it is like a Clint Eastwood movie. So what we do is, if we take that there, we can start to see some of these shapes. I'm going to shift this over here. And what you'll see is, if I put the filth back on and I put the screen over there, I've done that wrong, but I'll put it there and I'll put this in the background. There we go. We're cooking. Right, so we've got that there. And then what I'll do is I will move that way a little bit. And then I'll put the filth back on, because we're going Metallica. This is the framework for that Florida, Tampa Bay sort of sound. It's very Phrygian based, guys. It's like, yeah, you got the blues scale stuff that they learnt from, they picked up from, they'll have picked up from, you know, like all the classic rock bands, the Queen things and all that sort of stuff. But look at this. Bob Sally. So what we've got is got this E here, power chord, and then what we can do is we can go to, yeah. Remember who was in Metallica? Yes. You'll take a mortal man. Yeah, so you can see this here, semitone, power chords, a semitone between them. We've got another tension sound. We can actually be really artistically... Oh, crikey, it's gone. It'll be back. Hang on, let me just wiggle something. Is that it? Is it fine? Hello. There it is. It's back. Right. What we can do is we could still add that flat 5 in there, guys. We could still add the flat 5 and then we've got more notes that we can go at here with this. I'm going to put that in as a B flat. Yeah, and I'll put it in there as a B flat. So you start to see, and we put it in here as a B flat. You start to see that we're filling up the fretboard with these different notes, and the options for different power chords become really, really wide. Yeah, Dave Mustang. Yeah, Dave Sustain. Yeah. So you can see I've got this C here. So we've got loads of different ways we can look at that. But I can also see little chords. So I can see this one here. It's like a G shape. Yeah. There's the E, up to the F. Yeah. Okay. So we got this one. Oh, half Ricky is as good as it goes. We've got this here. So hopefully that makes sense. You can hear that that's the kind of idea that the Phrygian's going to give you. But then when it comes to your solo, you can take that scale there, you can play it down there, but you can also... Yeah, you're up here. You can play that there, but the cool thing is that because it's a minor scale, you'll still get away with your minor blues. Which is what Kirk Hammett does, guys. He gets away with it because he's like, that's what he does. He plays the minor blues on top of Phrygian sounds. Yeah, so the thing, that's the thing that you can do with it. Yeah, does that make sense? Does that make sense? So you can see it's a different sound though, isn't it, to our sort of Black Sabbathy thing. So you can start to think to yourself and categorize it. Categorize it, yeah. Categorize it the sound and label it, yeah. If I always think that's one of the worst things you could do to somebody is go around to the house, take the labels off all the tins and make them have a guess at what's inside. Ricky, are you strumming open strings too, or just fretted strings? I can do all sorts of different things in there. I can do lots of different things with it. Let me just see if I can get some really obtuse and horrible sounding sounds with this. Let's have a look. Can I make some other noises happen with this? Turn that there. Can I get to my chorus? Right, so now what I've got is I've got some chorus on this. Let me gonna go to a clean sound and put that chorus on. And now what I can do is I'm thinking to myself, okay, let's look at the shapes that I've got. I can play an E minor, and then what I can do is I've got this can see other shapes. And I can put those in there as well. So I can use clean. So I can use open strings. Ringing strings. Can you see the strings are ringing? So we've got loads of different. Got all this in here. So there are open strings. I'm playing the power chord and I'm playing the other 4 strings open. I don't know, Paul. No idea. I'll play anything. I'm not bothered. I'm not fussed. I just want to stand in it on stage and play guitar. Yeah. Okay, so we've got that there. You could just take one power chord shape down. Yeah, because the cool thing is because we know this is all in E minor, right? We've got an E minor chord with the open E, G, and B strings. Because that is an E minor chord, look. If you take the 2 fingers from your E minor chord, yeah, and you just imagine that those strings weren't there, yeah, but the guitar was tuned, you'd have an E here, and you'd have the G, the B, and the E. You still got the E minor. It's just, you think to yourself, putting those 2 on there makes it an E minor, but that's an E minor. Okay? So the thing is, what if I imagine that those 2 strings then become the playground for these patterns? So I think to myself, okay, what can I do there? Now some of the sounds aren't going to be great. Yeah, but some of them are going to. But the main one for me is basically look at where your power chords live. Well, on my C, I can see I've got a power chord. I've got a D on my on a power chord. I've got an E power chord. I've got an F, and I've got a G there. So I could play those. I could go. Let me put it on that sound. Now I could think to myself, I could start getting a bit Pink Floyd-y even with that. Because I've got that E minor that's underlying it all, yeah? So it's holding it all together. It's giving this commonality between all the sounds. But then I've got that. And that kind of sounded a bit off, I thought, a little bit. It sounded like that. But then I really need to go to the F to kind of state that. Look, here's a way to do that. Play your F chord. Let me zoom in on this shape because it's a nice one. Is this one? Instead, if you want to incorporate this, then what you do is you could play the shape instead of playing that shape like that as a bar chord. I'm only holding down the E string there. I'm not barring on the B and the E, and it gives you this exotic sounding F. Do it on the G as well, and you know what, let's go for it. Let's go up the neck. It'll do it on the A, but that sounds a bit too nice as a major, so I have to change that to pick my battles here. So it would be a minor, so I could have a minor there. All those chords there, we've got these lovely clean chords that we can put in the mix, but we've got framework for it. And let's have a look. Let's have a look at where are we at? Should we do harmonic minor? Yeah, let's do harmonic minor because I love playing harmonic minor. Harmonic minor. Right, we start getting into harmonic minor. We're into sort of, I always think it's Yngwie, it's Avenged Sevenfold. It's more sort of neoclassical rock, okay? But it metals very, 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 very well, okay? So the thing is, we've got this one here, right? Can you see this? Let me play the scale going up the neck, and you can see that there's something that happens, yeah? So we've got a big interval. I'm going to play it with some filth on it. Let's get some filth on. There we go, nice and dirty. Got the open E. We've got this, 2nd fret, 3rd fret. We've got the 4th, 5th. We get a flat 6 just here. Right, but then what happens is, the thing about harmonic minor that's wonderful is it's got a leading note just like the major scale. So you know how the major scale goes do, re, mi, fa, sol, la, ti, do. Yeah, ti, do. That's a semitone, half step to the root note. And the harmonic minor does exactly the same thing. Yeah, so it's not a flat 7. Yeah, like all the scales we've done so far have had a flat 7. And this is the thing. And what we've got is we've got another semitone, half step that comes in to the root note here, and that is cool because those semitones create the clashes. Yeah, so if I put that, right, so we got that there. So there's some really interesting. She was a sour girl. Hey, what are you looking at? She was a sour girl the day that she left me. I'm hoping that's a song reference. Yeah, so you don't clean your chords, you like them dirty. That's good. So we've got this new framework here. So this is fairly straight in some ways. We've got this, but what I like is these. I like these tritones. Look at the tritone. This F sharp to this C here. Yeah, F sharp to this C here. We've got a tritone. And then what I like to do is resolve the tritones into a perfect fifth. So we got, yeah, really. Yeah, so we've got that going on there. Right, now, the cool thing is yeah, you can hear the whole thing about harmonic minor is it's an exotic sounding scale. It sounds Middle Eastern, yes? Yeah, so that's cool, is that? Now I know what I've got now, and I think to myself, all right, okay, well, it's E harmonic minor, that's going to be here. I play exactly the same scale. Oh, sorry, wrong one. I was playing Phrygian dominant, but the thing is, look. And that's that. See that minor third there? What's good about the harmonic minor, I think, is you got whole steps, half steps, but you've got this lovely texture of this interval of a minor third as well, and you're just spotting where that is, and you can create some interesting things. Look at that C to the F sharp to that power chord there. So look at that. If I play that. So I can already hear that. Someone was mentioning this. I think it was Tout Le Monde. Okay. And then you can do voice leading with the harmonic minor in power chords. We've got that going on there. And we can always revert, like I say, back to pentatonic, minor blues, or you know, the natural minor is probably going to be the closest one to this. And you'll find other little patterns that do things. You can see them. And also the power chords, these work really well with those. That F sharp there, look at that. Heavy chord on that. Yeah. Got it there. I'll put that D sharp in. Okay, so that's the sound of the harmonic minor. And Shona says the Phrygian and harmonic minor, they come to with the harmonic minor and the Phrygian, they work really well together and really work well with the diminished. The harmonic minor, if you want to learn diminished, you've got to learn the harmonic minor, because for me they are bedfellows, okay? They really are. Now, so that is essentially, how do I switch over to this? Without, I'm going to double up on my face here again. So let's just get rid of this here. Right, so that is what I was looking at there. That I'm just doing an overview on a lot of these guys. There's a lot of there's a lot to go through in watching this. But the thing is pen, paper, write it down. Now, where's my other one? I had one that was a drop D. We have a drop D version. Where's the drop D version? Let's have a look. Is it in here? Have I already got it? Have I already got it somewhere? So there's those there. I did have a drop D version. I'm sure of it. Yes, here we go. Right, so what we've got, right, is if we want to make this even heavier, yeah, we want to make it even heavier. Right, what we do is we change the tuning, and as far as I understand, historically, drop D was the tuning before we tuned to E, A, D, G, B, E. It was the natural tuning, and I think it was more because it lent towards that sort of Dorian modal sound. We did music, most music did, or it was more sort of melodic minor and harmonic minor, those kind of things. The natural minor came a little bit later on. Yes! Right, so here's what we do. This is the way I tune to drop D. I think this is great for your ear. And what you do is you play your open normal D string. There, like that. And then you play your E string at the same time, simultaneously. Get your fingers on your tuner. Play that D there. Drop it down. Now, as with anything, when you tune, you never tune down to the note, because what happens is you add slackness in the tuning head down here, and you lose your tuning stability. So what happens is, take that, go a little bit low, tune up to it. Let me just turn up just a little bit here. There we go. Now what I'm listening for is there is a pulse between the two notes. They're the same notes, and they will never ring in true unison. And what will happen is you get this pulse, this beat in between them, and that's what you're listening to, and you're trying to slow that sound down, yeah? So, and if you hear it going wah 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 wah, what you're trying to do is get it to go wow wow. Now when you think you've got it, all you have to do, this is the cool thing about drop D, guys, is all you have to do is hit the top two strings. And you get an almighty D5 power chord. Okay? You get a D5 power chord, right? If you have trouble with it, just just, you know, get a tuner on it, yeah. But so there, like that. Now, if you've got a floating bridge, yeah, you've got to be aware that it might untune some of your other strings a little bit. So the beautiful thing about this shape is that we can now just use one finger. If I take that minor pentatonic that I had before, remember it was 0, 3, 5, 7, 10, 12. So yeah, so you can hear. No, this is actually, I'm thinking D minor pentatonic, Sean. But we're getting these power chords here. Now, what I did there is I'm putting my tritone in. I'm putting it in there because remember, this is my minor pentatonic, and then to change the minor pentatonic to a minor blues, I just add that flat 5. It's been a while since I played that one, but it's spoon man. I've forgotten the ending, but there you go. Yeah, see how easy it is, guys? Yeah, see how easy that is? Yeah, so there's all sorts of different things going on with this. It's a really, really nice tuning. But that's always going to be home, is that? And I'm playing it as a D5, and yeah. So we've got that there. Now I can, when I'm tuned in this position, everything that I was looking at before as well, when I was thinking scale wise in E, I was thinking here, I was looking for that power chord there, because that's where I could play my chords. But now I have to move everything down a whole step. Yeah. There. Now what I can do is, and I'm on my minor blues scale here. So you can hear how all that's going on there, but where I had the scale before at E, I switched the whole thing down, but I have to remember that the E string is now tuned to D, but it's easy to remember because the notes that I play on the D string, I play on the E string, which is now a D string. Hopefully that makes sense. So here's my pentatonic, box 1. Yeah, so it just goes a bit off there. Sounds a bit weird, does that? Yeah. And we could do all those same tricks that we were doing before, where I was using the drone note, because that's my tonal center, remember, really. Now here's where it gets interesting, because if we look at the diagram, Look at all those notes going across there from that minor pentatonic. They're all the way across. We get a nice big beefy chord going all the way across there. Little bit of a change there. Get an interesting shape there, but that's what happens there. So but it doesn't mean to say that we couldn't utilize it. It looks like a D shape. We can just turn it with a bit of an artistic license into a proper power chord there if we want, yeah? But the cool thing is remember that heavy chord that we had in the E tuning? We can reutilize that exact same shape. But the thing is, we haven't got the perfect fourth in the top of the chord in the shape. Let's look at this. So if we go here, and if I'm going to play it up here actually where you can see it. So remember we had a root and we had a fourth there like that, and then we had another root there. But we don't now. We've got a root here. We've got the we're not thinking of it in that way actually. We're thinking that's the root, that's the fifth, and this becomes a ninth. So we get an add 9 there. So it becomes an add 9 power chord. Where is it? Which fret is it, Ricky? So you get all those sort of emo sort of tunes out of this. Which fret is it? I'm trying to remember it. There it is. Yeah, so it's a drop D tuning. You know, if you know that one. But you can use that all the way up that framework again. So look. We got some interesting sound. See, now I've got some interesting shapes going on here. Utilizing, let me just switch over, drag that over to there. Oh, hang on. We'll get there. We'll get there. Right? So drag this over here. So look, I'm on this one. I'm looking at this and I'm thinking, well, it looks like a tritone, but I know it isn't. Yeah, because I know that this is going to be a minor 6 because the perfect fifth is happening from the D, the newly tuned D string to the A string. So I know that there. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to look at that pattern there, and then I'm going to see what I can do with that. So let's have a look at that. So that's got that shape there. Artistic license on this one. We've got all these different sounds. Yeah, and just like before, and somebody said about leaving the D string open. So I'll just leave the D string open and see what the power chords sound like. But you know what? I'll play this C power chord. I'll play the D power chord, but then I'll have this little... I'll play this little third here going from the F to the A with this major third and see what that sounds like. I don't think I've ever played that before, so... It works. So I can use that now, and I can think, okay, right, well, hang on, what happens if I rock this one out? Yeah. You know, got all sorts of... And I think that minor 6 sound there is nice. Wants to resolve up here. Can I see any more of those? I've got a third here. Going to the D to the F. D to the F there. I go from the F to the A. And then go from the A to the C. And then tap into the flat 5 as well. You know, like I say, the flat 5 was going to be here. This is why I drew it wrong before, because this is the thing with that there. You got the flat 5 there, and you get it there as well. So it's like, hopefully this makes sense, guys. It's how you get more out of your power chords. Now this isn't the only thing that you can do with these power chords. What we want to be able to do with the power chords is manipulate them using intervals as well, and that's what I think of as being beyond power chords. But if you use these frameworks here to help you, then you can see where these sounds are coming from. You can hear them, and if you play through these, then what you'll do is you'll start to associate the sound with the band. Bands very much like this kind of thing. They'll have a tuning, they'll have a preferred tonality that they like, or a modality that they like to play in, and that's the thing, you know. So really, the world's your onion with this, you know. The world's a big onion. So what we could do is we can do all this stuff, and I think that probably just about does it. Do you know what, actually? And when I'm thinking about this now, and switch over here, I'm going to run up some sheets for the drop D, for all those others that I was on about, the minor pentatonic, the minor blues, the Phrygian dominant, the natural minor, the harmonic minor, and put all those out there so that you've got a choice. You can play then in standard tuning, or you can play in the drop D tuning. It's completely up to you, but then you'll start to see that those sounds there, and you know, it's probably going to be worth a follow up on some of the other stuff, and I'll probably do some standalone content with the some of the more exotic ones, like the dominant diminished scale and the Phrygian dominant as well. But the idea is that, like I say, if you think about modes in terms of the colour and the kind of brightness to darkness that they have, then really Lydian going all the way to Locrian is like, it gives you completely a range of 7 different colours to go at. But those aren't the only colours, because what we do is we can borrow from other minors, because there are 3 minors, guys. There are 3 minors. There's a natural minor, there's a harmonic minor, and there's a melodic minor. So we can plug into those as well, you know, and cross-reference those, and then we can marry them and meld them and mash them together, and it's great, because that's what artistic license is all about. This is where new sounds come from. Someone goes, what would it sound like if I got harmonic minor and I bashed it together with, you know, I don't know, some other mode, yeah, you know, the minor blues or whatever, and then hang on, now we're Avenged Sevenfold. So and that's really what it is. I had a bit of chromaticism, and that's what you've got with Avenged Sevenfold, a bit of shred in there as well. So hopefully that, I do worry about this. I know this lesson can tend to be a little bit, the sounds can be a little bit heavy, and it can be a little bit like, ooh, and yeah, I realise that. But the thing is, you don't, there's elements of it that you can play it with clean, and it doesn't sound heavy, you know. But seeing the frameworks and that sort of stuff, you can come up with riffs. Now, it's probably something for another. There'll be another session on this, I reckon, where I want to talk about. I'll talk about techniques of making these sounds, and yeah, and have some fun just rocking out with these and getting some tremolo picking and doing having a look at some stylistic examples maybe, or if I find out that they won't claim copyright and all that malarkey. Yeah, that's probably a good idea. We'll get some Norwegian death metal, and some all sorts of different things. Yeah, there's 3 miners in our village, Di, Bob, and Harry. Yeah. Right, guys. So, I will post that up in the. I will be posting that up in the PDF club. All those there, but actually thinking about it. I'll upload the standard tuning ones first, and then I'll upload the drop D ones. John, really, you got it right there, because it isn't just about the music per se. In that you need to understand the music, and you need to enjoy the music, or even dig it. But the thing is it's just knowing where the components are, and knowing where everything fits, how it all fits together, and then it's like you can go, all right, okay. There'll be little elements of these things that just creep into the stuff that you already like, okay, and that's the thing, So Shauna is Kim Thale. Yeah, get that wah wah on it. So it's like I've got to go this far out with it. I know it's not 4 chords and and jolly times, that jolly old tunes, but or jazzy bluesy stuff. But we've got to cover it all. Otherwise, it'd be remiss, because I know a lot of you guys like to plug in the guitar. And this is the thing as well. This is, like I say, what I always say at the end of the lesson is, I always say, look at the guitar, and it's like, and you think, yeah, this is for me, yeah. And if you've got these riffs, and all you need is one good distortion pedal, yeah, in through a clean amp, yeah. Scoop it, yeah. Turn that bass up full, turn the treble up full, cut the middle. Yeah, cut the mid. Yeah, take the mid completely out. Scoop that tone. Yeah, and then get some of these riffs played. Yeah, and you'll have tremendous fun. You'll feel the energy of the guitar giving you, and it's like you're playing there, and it's like, ooh, this is great. Yeah, so that's what I'm saying to you. Right, guys. So that's just about covered it for today. So, like I say, remember who you're playing guitar for. This was a lesson from the book. It was an extended lesson from the book. If you don't know what the book is, then, well, you can get one here. This is where you get the book. It's rickysguitar.com/store. You'll see down there, you drop down, you got the option of spiral bound, paperback, or you can get it as an ebook, and all the videos for that are in there. And yes, so that's good. It would be great to see you in the fretboard fraternity, and just join, like I said, right at the beginning of this lesson. It'd be great to see you in there. And if you want the access to all my PDFs, then this is the one here. Get PDF Club. That would be fantastic to see you in there as well. And I'll drop some more notes in there. In fact, I've got some handwritten, and I've got some fancy ones. So this is going to be a big PDF dump. We'll call it. Yeah, so that's what it's going to be today. All right then, guys. I will love you and leave you. And I've got a little bit of an outro here. I'm going to put the outro on, because it means I can put last week's lesson over the top of this as well. Okay then, guys. Remember, look, nogging up on the power chords from last week, how that worked. Nogging up on this, and then we're good. We're golden. Thank you very much, guys, for turning up today. Appreciate your time. Much love from the Comiskis here, and we'll see you in the next one. Take care. Bye-bye.